Took a while to solidify, but we've kind of gotten to the point where we know if the Orianna trade comes through, you want to pair it with a good ball carrier. Sometimes it's the Jarvan. Most of the time it's the Jarvan, but sometimes it's the Alistair. In this case, it's the Nocturne.
So a Batleth is actually a Klingon-style weapon, though, Wolf. I'm sorry to interrupt. So rude.
Yeah.
But it was. You were right.
I mean, that's what it said on the prompter. That's why I was like, G-Sun's the Klingon person.
Live long and prosper, Wolf.
Yeah.
And G-Sun. And
again,
great pulverize here from Peter, who does hit level 6, but he's looking a bit worse for wear as the stun is... Oh, that's first blood over to Jew. And now Doctom is dead as well. Andil just throwing the stuns around like they're going out of fashion. And they'll be able to get a swift 2-0 in the bottom lane.
Well, the funny part about both of those exchanges was last time around, like, Jiu probably could have gotten the kill right, but he played conservatively, and then there was the whole funny, like, he didn't flash, but they flashed late. Closer of the Nashor's Tooth is actually pretty massive to pick up, but not going to have it, sadly, for him in time to contest this dragon. And he does not have 3 grubs to utilize it with in the side lane, but it is going to be useful as soon as he moves out of said mid lane. This is going to be first dragon very late in this game. Well, not very late for 26.1 standards, but slightly late.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of late dragons this season.
Oh, next one going to be a Kentek. So a lot of pretty good Drakes, but it will be an Ocean Soul this game because it's an Ocean Soul day. That's just how it goes.
Ionian boots are in style for a lot of mid laners. Yep. They have a lot of different flexibility. Feels like the way they changed tier 3 boots even makes like plated steel caps viable in AD carry matchups. As Pyosik is not alone here.
He is a level down. We've got a bit of a top laner fight as well as Dudu is trying to tunnel his way out. That's going to be a steal on the Crab as well as Willa making his way in. The exhaust goes down and concussive blows should come through. Never mind. Pyosik able to make his way out as Closer has found Jiu trying to get in amongst this fight as now Yukal comes over and Pyosik is going to be able to make the Wolven exit. Oh, Shockwave to finish him off. And Yukal says goodnight to Pyosik there. Yukal up and available, and look at it. It is up and available. They will be starting up this dragon, though. That's going to be the first thing. Control vision in the pit. As Rich doing some battle here with Dudu, but you can see that the Rek'Sai is having a much better time at this stage of the game. Titanic Hydra in hand. And there is the dragon going down. It's a Mountain Soul. So finally, we are free of Ocean Prison. Not to invest the flash to try and take down Yukal here. Didn't want to go for the trade.
That's just free Herald, though. Like, Pyosik is sitting down there going, all right, let's see if they fall for our trap.
Yep.
Yukal is just simply way too experienced and has a good read on the situation. There's just a lot of vision topside as well. Like, well, I mean, if Pyosik is not here, then he must be doing something funky on the bottom side. Let's just slow play this, play defensively, and the Willer, as soon as they are able to suss this out, it's just like, all right, cool, thanks for the free Herald. They have gotten every single objective that the map has to offer. Trying to make sure it doesn't exist, you know? Like, perfect games, the perfect game doesn't exist.
They're going to kill Shelly, though, after she charges. And so that means it can't be a perfect game, right? Because that's Rift Herald. That's an objective.
No, it's a Rift Herald kill, you're right.
Oh, no. And yeah, so Doctom is going to lock that one down. So
Call me crazy, but I mean, I'm looking at Peter's ward score. Pyosik on the bottom side of the map, so this dragon should be safe, but they might get the turret, Atlas.
Oh no! Oh, that can't be it. There's a pulverize as Yukal gets the shockwave off. The stun does come on through, but Jiu makes his way over to save the perfect game. Peter doesn't have an unbreakable will this time around.
Get up there and save that turret.
Yeah, Closer is trying to... Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
Yeah, the perfect game goes boom.
Oh, I cannot believe Yukal did not flash to save the turret.
Chastised them for giving up the perfect game. I think that was a really large portion of what went wrong there.
It doesn't feel like we're on perfect game pace because of the fact that this is not a game where it's like an 8,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. Like, that's usually when we're talking about perfect game. It's just been so calculated by DRX, though, this whole time.
Yeah, and it does mean that DNS aren't out of this just yet. Yes, we've been making perfect game jokes and things like that.
Yeah, but...
it is sole point, so that is a huge deal.
As it's really just Yukal and Andil kiting back when Jiu shows up and does extra damage. His Closer was too busy denying the perfect game to come down and help.
But he did a very good job denying it at that. I mean, that's what he's supposed to do as DNS. Don't give it to DRX for free like you did all of the dragons this game. Have that and play together with Jiu, and then you can win. So that's what they're going to go for here. As Andil is going to get knocked up. Jiu is there, though. He is certainly playing with Jiu. As in goes Willa. Finds the angle. Emperor's Divide, but he spell shields it absolutely beautifully. The shockwave comes in to take down Closer. And there is Pyosik Pyosik hitting the deck as well. Doctom kiting pretty nicely, but he is the last man standing. Andil will go down, but it's in trade for Dudu. Doctom does have the shield from the barrier, but unable to kill Jiu, who is still sitting at 300, and I think they will just walk over, take the Baron, and then 1 minute's time, it'll be Mountain Soul.
Instructions unclear, kind of play with Jiu and take Baron before Mountain Soul. That's what he said, right?
Yep.
Something like that. And that is going to be the Baron. Jungleless with the full wipe. And then they should be able to regroup and take the Mountain Soul. Work out. Tried his best, but ultimately does fall flat on his face. And now they can regroup, like I said, for the spawning Mountain Soul fight. Willer has his ultimate back at the ready. Yucal the same. 16 for both. The jungle advantage here is 2 levels for Willer.
Well, wind becomes lightning. In he goes. Pyosik does get exhausted as there's the Crescent Guard as well. Rich standing in that front line though, looking to try and cut down this Xin Zhao, and he will do so. The Shockwave was used on the air because it was just Pyosik's corpse that was in the area. But now there is no smite to try and contest this Mountain Soul. The rest of DNS realize they have to go in, but it's Rich that pulls the trigger first. Doctom tries to dash away, but there's a slice and a dice waiting for him. His closer with the Emperor's Divide is going to put some Sand Soldiers in the way, but the rest of his team are going to fall like paper, and DRX will get their prize and look for even more with a 3.3k Rebel Baron power play already.
Does this DRX roster kind of reminds me of old days, like slow, boring macro Gen G, where you're like, oh, they're just not fighting a lot, but they have a huge lead, and when they do fight, they pick the right targets, and they win the fight every time. There was going to be to do anything further, as Doctom has not done damage this game, which is not a surprise to anyone who's been watching it.
It's been quite difficult for him to be able to actually hit people, as Rich, highest level in the game, hitting level 18 already, looking for level 19, try and go even further beyond.
They just take only the fights that are favorable for them, or the pick angles that are favorable for them.
Not sure how that one works structurally, but look, we've gone into it before, and I don't think we've ever had the right answer.
It's very magical to have.
2 sticks equals a hat.
Yeah.
Wolf.
Very, very magical.
All right, well, Jiu is looking for a little bit of an engage here. Does get headbutted, but there is the delivery into the backline. Willa is going to make Doctom very scared once again, and Peter, his will is going to be broken, ladies and gentlemen. I just think that that's what's going to happen. There's the dissonance to take him down, and DRX, oh man, they find a few stragglers, and DRX should be now able to break open this base and possibly take us to a game number 2.
Yeah, that's the kind of place you're in as Doctom where you're considering role swapping like Ghost. So you're like, oh no, this role. Closer.
Well, there's the flash as Jiu just stands there and is able to Valkyrie after him, finishes off that kill. Man, Jiu is having a much better year in 2026, you have to say it, as the inhibitor going to go down towards his bottom side. They're going to take this wave of minions, and they are going to careen towards the Nexus. And I can see Joker already celebrating in the coach's booth, as that was some textbook League of Legends from DRX, as they take down the Nexus and go up 1-0 in the series.
There's a Sivir, the wave clear.
Yeah, everyone's running way faster.
I think this draft is frankly a lot of strong individual parts in terms of, okay, you got a good matchup for the Kennen. Pyosik's on a comfort pick. Ryze does decent into the Talia.
The way of the big old spear. As Closer rotating up as well. Now it's a possible re-engage angle as there's a Zenith Blade. Yucal will be able to throw this Ryze back, and Closer just a little bit in no man's land and will be taken down. First blood goes over to Andil, so not exactly optimal here for DRX.
The thing Sivir does besides extreme boom boom damage with crit damage buffed on this patch.
Well, gonna need to pull out some sort of Hex Flash play here as Andil finds himself in a very uncomfortable position. Realm Warp, though, to try and get in here and punish him, and that's going to be Closer able to lock him down. That's Closer getting the kill as well, but there's a flick back onto Pyosik. He's in a bit of trouble as Willa looking for another round of skills, and there it is, the spear to finish him off. Jiu now turns up. Red-white gun set up here for Doctom, though. He's so scary, and down goes the Pantheon. Jiu has to flash. And Doctom already demonstrating the power of this pick. Yucal just not with enough damage at this stage of the game.
Yeah, Pyosik denied here, so the Dragon is not going to be taken.
Different, as we're not going to see a seismic shot, we're just going to see a Ghost here from Closer to avoid any of that danger as Willa.
Yucal's
already on these grubs.
Is Ghost a dash?
Can I put down the rocks to stop him from, maybe he trips over?
Must be pretty awkward to like run very quickly through those rocks, but I guess if you're, you know, if you can't...
It's like stepping stones, you know, like over a river or something like that. Way of the Gnar.
Yeah, the initial Gnar doesn't hit, and then see the flash traded. And that's the end of that. Andil.
Grabbed him to set up for this play potentially as Jiu comes over, but I think Andil is just dead. He flashes anyway. Optimistic at best. And the Leona will be taken down, so DNS looking a lot better in this moment, evening out the gold.
This was the answering cannon pick that is not really finding much outside of defending the turret thus far. Dragon is going to go over. Let's see what we get second here. It will be the Cloud Drake. And this game has been, once again, like outside of a few crazy scraps, a little bit of a tug of war where vision game for DRX is superior.
Ooh, cute
One thing they don't
comes
see,
in, there's
though.
a Slicing Maelstrom. The Nah pushes him back, and there is the Q connecting from Piochik. Willa turns up, but then he realizes he doesn't really want to be here. Q going to connect there from Piochik, who does go in. Yukal's in position, though. As the stun comes down, flash out there as they see the Realm Warp, and they do not want any of it.
You can see also Yukal was in position to Weaver's Wall in, but opted not to once he realized the fight was lost before he even got there.
Oh, there's Zenith Blade in from Andil, but this is red white guns on Doctom. Andil is dead, right? Yeah, Doctom just able to kill him there in the 1v1 underneath the turret. Red white don't fight, DRX. You know this.
That was very peculiar, but he did unlock a turret plate achievement as well.
He did definitely get that. Piochik's making his way down though. There's the flash. Really good use of the spell shield, but it does not matter. There's a kickback, and Piochik will be able to lock down the Sivir as well.
Because he doesn't have any spell shield before.
Yeah, just kind of wishes that he had more opportunities than that, as Weaver's Wall does bring Yukal towards the top side of the map. Dudu able to make his way out though. Uses the flash, Slicing Maelstrom, everything. As the eye is being defended here by DNS. As let's see, Andil is going to face check. Piochik makes his way over. Jiu now looking for a bit of an angle here as Andil flashes out of the way. Good shove to protect their support. As Piochik almost down. Has, not quite able to get enough of these Beyblades over the top, and now Jiu could find himself in an awkward position. Mandrop comes down as Willa looks to try and stop Peter. Pop Blossom comes on forward. He stacked up the Q though, just needs to land it. He will not, but just the edge of the Boomerang Blade, and down will go the Nico. I believe the eye is going to mean that Shelly does not play a part in today's second game. Which is very sad.
I think I got picked up.
Oh, they did! Never mind, Willa got it!
You nearly did. And now we're going back to clearing waves in the mid lane. Still a pretty good position in this game for DNS.
Yep.
Especially
after to get a double dragon as well.
Exactly, double dragon here for them. And we'll see what the soul is, because DNS are hoping for a high roll with this turret disappearing.
Well, it's going to be Chemtech, so not exactly the best.
Kind of okay for Aphelios?
Yeah, and it's kind of okay for some of the shields. There's a Seraphs that's getting built. I mean, there are angles here. This turret is going to go down in the mid lane. Closer is looking to answer on the bottom side, but it's a trade up for DRX.
Yeah, 2 for 1 here. And it looks like that might take even an extra wave to go down on the bottom side. It's going to be close, as I think it should still go down. And Yukal is going to play defensively, so it will. But the scaling Sivir versus scaling Aphelios argument is really interesting. He only has 1 flash, he only has 1 cleanse. And let's see what happens with this shove.
Yeah, there's a kickback onto Yukal. He's real dead. Not sure about what the goal was there, as Ando going to get tagged by a Sonic Wave as well. Willa in the area, Jiu rotating down. There's a teleport in from the cannon, but Rich is here already. 3-man Pop Blossom is great from Peter, but he's just dead. Not an angle that he can actually fight in, and Dudu is so far away. Piochik looks for it, but there is a Gnar into the wall. And the Lee Sin does have to do some shenanigans to get himself out. They get the stun onto Dudu. Slicing Maelstrom, though, is going to be the end of Andil. And finally, Doctom shows up, and he's got the right guns to do it. Jiu now with the Boomerang Blade, but they're not going to be able to close in. Still 3 on the floor, and just in trade for Peter, DNS will take that.
And now they're way too deep into a cannon.
Well, now we've got a bit of an angle as Doctom could be in trouble. Solar Flare doesn't work, but that is a threaded volley that is going to be able to take down Doctom. He had to use Flash as well.
How do Doctom live?
Yeah, that's a tough. I don't have the answer to that one. Andil just going to flash in, does manage to find the angle here, even through the flash. And Dudu not able to get too much value here, as Jiu wanted to be able to get that last auto, but Yukal, he outranged the Slicing Maelstrom, so he's the one that gets the kill. Rich deals with the turret towards the bottom side, and DRX, the way Peter needs to engage is when Dudu is ready to get massive damage. As now Yukal is likely to be dead again. Piochik able to set up for that one, does get flung back, but he will still be able to go down. Closer will be able to grab his 4th kill of the game. This Rise will be very scary.
It could be the deciding fight here of this game, now potentially of the series. Willer!
Oh, Willer just dives in, looks for Dudu. Solar Flare going to slow him down. As now Gio looking for an angle, but he's kind of lonely at this point in time. Boomerang Blade's sort of missing all over the place, but there's a Weaver's Wall from UCal. Pop Blossom as Peter finds 3, and they take down Gio to start the fight. Rich now looking to try and take down the Nico, but this is so dire as Doctom has so much protection. Both of the damage dealers are now on the floor, and DRX, you flubbed that one.
Yeah, they really did. They just were not able to get consistently set up to do the damage with Gio. He was kind of going in by himself as Willer was able to get a lot of health bar, but not actually as secure. That was pretty closer than I think it would have made Pioshik comfortable. Grab this mid turret, some additional plate gold for their carries. But Willer's idea here, not really do anything for them. It's not the deciding fight of the game, but it definitely puts DNS back in the driver's seat.
And this is exactly how fights need to look for DNS as well. They need to find Pop Blossoms and get enough damage. There's a kick. Beautiful knock-up onto Andal as well as UCal has to flash to get himself out of the way. There is a mega disengage cone up and available as Pioshik not going to quite find the Q, but Closer, he finds it, and down will go UCal. Now Willer just desperately trying to leave, and DRX are very quickly falling apart.
This is starting to be
Joker, where is the coach call? We need the coach call right now.
It's like a Baron angle.
Oh, and Doctom is not going to lose health. He can probably tank it, to be perfectly honest.
Lost his red gun.
All right, DRX now moving in. These health bars are going down. But let's see, there's so much damage. There's a Solar Flare onto Doctom, but he's not too worried about it. Willer is on vision as Peter doesn't find the Pop Blossom, but it was all zoning. As now into the backline goes Dudu. Andal is going to be able to lock him up as Rich should be able to take down the cannon. Never mind, he just flashes away, and Gio is dead yet again. UCal just now respawning. The Willer is also going to suffer the same fate. Nice sidestep there from Rich, but it's too little, it's too late. It's a 6,000 gold lead. They have Soul Point, and there is the kick back onto Rich. He should be dead. Hop comes through, and there's the flash, so he survives.
The Dragon fight might not have been, but I do think this was the deciding game here, or the game-deciding fight here for DNS to bring us to a 3rd and final game, our 6th of the day.
Yeah,
that's the Baron that goes over on
is
top
this our
of the Dragon.
first 6 gamer?
I think it is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
there's a farm in 2 lanes and a big plate to go down here for Closer. The final one of that inner turret will be the whole turret. Is TP flank from Rich is optimistic. He's got only a little bit of Gnar left.
All right. They look for Closer, but he's just going to press Ghost and gets himself the heck out of there.
Who was he flanking? So, and he's got Flash and Cleanse, so good luck with that.
As a big old Gnar as Dudu gets thrown into the wall. There is the stun from Willer at the same time, but the Slicing Maelstrom still goes off. And now the fight is going to start. Pioshik gets on top of his target, and Willer is going to be taken down. UCal, unfortunately, just hasn't done much of anything this game, and will once again die as an afterthought. And DNS, man, they're making this one look good. Doctom on his signature pick,
I mean, you can
he's going to pick up a win with it.
You can see the intent in DRX's actions. Try to get on Doctom. Oh, can't quite reach him. Okay, the cannon's in range. We blow him up because we've seen so many of these mid-game fights where they just single target blow somebody up, but they're just too far behind now. They can't kill Dudu in time. He's got his Maelstrom, and they're just fighting tooth and nail to try to get anything back. Time will get that pesky rat.
Maybe they can do it. Flash is available, though, for Dudu, so it is still going to be a very difficult task.
He also has ult still as well.
All right. Well, Rich has Wit's End, so let's see. 2 inhibitors now going down, though, as DNS just playing this one by the book.
Maybe learning a little bit from the DNF 10,000 gold lead that didn't go so well last year.
I mean, right now, they don't have a mid laner. UCal's 3 levels behind, 4.5 thousand gold behind. Rich is flanking, I guess, as Doctom. Let's see whether he can survive this one. He flashes. UCal goes golden, but look at the AoE from this guy. Just presses Q with Severum, and everyone's dead. Gio likely to go down as well. Does manage to pick up a little Pikachu on his way out, but that is going to be Closer flashing for it. Willer manages to get one, but it's Doctom at full health that completes the ace, and that is going to be the end of the game.
I liked the peel from support Ken and support Nico as they try to kill Doctom and fail miserably. I told you guys the front line, it's the ultimates, and it's also the positioning of Doctom. I did not believe. I was not a believer. I thought this composition just was too risky, too many ways to kill the Aphelios. Doctom says, no, not today. the Gwen side lane angle. There's a bit of scaling damage in this Aurora that's relatively safe, and the Lucian is going to be a late game threat, but so will the Kalista, I think, in terms of matching it. I think this game is going to be a bloody game. How many of these shock blasts are we going to see Pyosik hit? We saw almost all of them hit for Sponge in the early game last time around.
He did a very good job.
And that's, you know, why we were joking that they've increased the amount of Korean Jaces quickly.
Well, let's see whether Pyosik is going to be one of them as well. As Yukal going to take a nap momentarily. And with
Ghostblade
finding a Ghostblade, yeah, exactly. Flash does come out as Closer looks for it. He'll find it, and they go 1 for 1. But first blood over to the Zoe, and Closer feeling real good about how this lane is going. Oh, it doesn't actually connect. As we're going to check this one out from Closer's perspective, just finds the sleepy trouble bubble and Ghostblades at him.
Looked a little janky there, but that's Zoe.
Yep.
Closer picks up the flash just a second too late.
There's the Rend. There's Doctor. Okay, some needlework here towards his top side as well as Dudu going down low, but Pyosik is in the area. Flash comes forward, and Rich realizing what's going on here. He doesn't have Flash, and he denies. Oh, never mind, he doesn't. That's actually the kill picked up for Pyosik. And DNS continuing to find advantages as Peter and Doctor. Let's see how this dive's going to go as Willa makes his way down. He's got Cataclysm available, gets the knock up onto Doctor, and slam dunk as the Kalista is taken down. Peter, for some reason, decided to bail himself out. And unfortunately, that is not going to quite work as Jiu just finishes off the kill.
Maintain Prio if they want to 3v3 this, and they will, and then potentially rotate over. But Willer does have his ultimate, so this is very scary.
Yeah, Pyosik does have that dragon leashed. Should be able to take this one down. First Drake of the game over to DNS, but now Willa makes his way in. Hostile takeover. Gets rid of Willa for the moment, but Yukal was trying to come down. He does go between the worlds. Fate's Call comes on through. Doctor looking to try and get bailed out, but it does not work, and Yukal's even going to survive. Shock Blast, not quite enough damage. And out goes the Aurora. That is 2 swift kills, but the Drake goes over to DNS.
It was, you know, a bit rocky there in terms of the setup. There's a lot of situational engage tools for DNS, like this Trouble Bubble, like the Jace Hammer.
Yeah.
You know, Cassante pulling somebody through a wall with the All Out.
How you do the winning, especially when you get hit by Shock Blast as well. Willa's making his way over though as Yukal goes between the worlds, and there is a Cataclysm looking to try and hold this Zoe at bay as Pyosik at full health, but he's not going to be able to help out and even gets knocked up by the Tidal Wave himself. And Closer going down there. It is another kill the champions. Started up here by DRX. That's why that turret is not something they're going to stick around for, wanting to make sure they're not going to have these Drakes stacked up against them. Yukal off to the side. Between worlds, very close to coming off cooldown. Cataclysm as well, 7 seconds away.
Another Chemtech Dragon.
All right, another Chemtech Soul. Kind of good for Gwen. Get a lot of extra health back and stuff like that. A little bit. Dudu finding a great angle. Gets the needlework out of Rich. Rich is now just going to go back home.
Do we hit these?
Well, Rich can
I'm
press
still
W.
asking. I'm once again asking, do we hit these? No.
Yeah, presses W and is going to be A-OK. Will is making his way forward, though. There's the knock-up, and Tidal Wave once again gets a flash out of Pyosik. Flash immediately out of the Cataclysm as Willa goes in, and now between worlds, Yukal wanting to find the kill as the bailout. I don't think is going to work, and that is a kill over to Yukal. Kill the champions, Wolf. That's what he's doing. Willa once again flagging and dragging, but Peter does have the flash, and that will be able to keep him alive. But DRX, they're just killing way more champions this game. Strategies.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm reading between the lines on his movements on the map.
Aha,
Spelling
wow.
out. I could speak Yukal.
You're the Yukal whisperer.
Yeah, I could speak Yukal a little bit. I can tell you that after the first death in this game, he told everyone he would like to fall out of his chair, but he was told by his team that that was not appropriate. He will not be doing it again. Oh, Duckdom!
Yeah, Rich doesn't get hit by the Pierce, but let's see whether he can actually kill Duckdom and Peter here, as it's taking them a long time to get through him. Oh, the bailout's procced, and the Rend is not enough. 2 versus 1. Rich loves those odds, as now Willa looking to come on forward as well. Will be able to knock up Peter here, and there is no turret, ladies and gentlemen. That is a dead Renata right there. Holds onto the flag and drag. There it is. And not exactly in the greatest of positions, but still will be taking him down. Bailout or no bailout, that is a dead Renata. And Pyosik's like, well, at least I'll take my Krugs.
Yeah. Lost Viking is like, get in the boat. So conditional engage, right? Conditional engage. It hit. They are in the mist. So he's not immune. However, he is Gwen. That is a level 9 champion. He's a level 12 champion.
Yeah.
So
and the other one's a level 7 champion. All right, well, Yukal is going to get sleepy once again. Let's see where the... yeah, he's just really dead. That's the 1-2 punch from the Jace and the Zoe.
Maybe a turret and trade here in the mid lane, but
the flanking numbers in the scoreline that really do dictate happiness. As okay, Will looking for a bit of an angle here, doesn't quite find the knockups, but Pioshik's in a little bit of trouble. He does have to flash to get out of the Cataclysm. Another big old boat flies by, but it doesn't find too much joy there as Jiu gets distracted and starts shooting his teammates. Hostile takeover though, not exactly the most impactful. As Yukal, I don't know about that one, as he dives into the enemy team and does give Doctom a little bit more happiness. It's a triple in the end for the Callista as Jiu, oh, do not throw away that big old bounty, my friend. He throws in the culling, but it doesn't really do too much. And DNS, I mean, Baron's been around for 30 seconds. Maybe they're just going to take it down.
There's no ult here for Jiu. There's no tidal wave. I think trying to make something of this is asking for that shutdown to go over, but they are just simply not willing to give it up.
Oh, Jiu taking matters into his own hands, I guess, as the Baron will be going down, but can they get anything? There's a handshake, Jiu. I just don't know whether that was worth it, my friend. And but I do know. I just don't want to talk about it. Yeah, it was. I'm going to say it was not.
When I said Jiu was more confident, more aggressive,
beach ball.
He is. He really, really is. It was very well showcased in this moment. I'm going to try to push it, but that was probably not the moment. That was pick your battles, but don't pick that one.
Yeah.
This was the big bursty damage.
That was a very dead Yukal.
And I don't know what conclusions we're supposed to draw from this game. Like, does this mean Jace is good? I don't really think we learned anything about that.
That's exactly what this composition does. I mean, the siege is ridiculous. You just saw that shock blast. That means that this inner turret is dead. That's just all there is to it.
And it's about to be another one. Coming straight at you. Pioshik, line it up. The observers are ready.
Battlestar. Not going to quite find you, but the shock blast does. And that spells the end of this inhibitor turret as well. DRX realizing that they really need to do something or their base is just going to fall apart.
They have flash on their Jarvan, but everyone is grouped. There's not a great target here. So Willer needs to find an angle, but it's just so tough.
Yeah, the Dusante, we're going to try and take this turret down as Willer looks for the angle there. Does put Doctom in the Cataclysm as, okay, there's a tidal wave running forward. Doctom in a little bit of trouble, but does, oh, Yukal gets into the back line again and just gets wiped out. The bailout was there anyway from Doctom. Uses both of his summoners, but this is exactly what they're there for, as the DN SOOPers might be on the verge of their very first victory here in the LCK Cup after a disappointing first week. DRX unfortunately not able to make it happen here. All the poke comes in.
Willer just used his flash Cataclysm earlier, so doesn't have that flash anymore. I mean, Yukal has his ult back, but he is on 2 items.
Man. Dudu is also an entire item ahead of Rich.
Banshee's Veil.
Very far behind.
We have Edge of Night. Okay, here's the flank.
Yeah, let's see whether they can make it happen as Yukal once again going between the worlds. There's a Cataclysm into the backline as Yukal's dead once again. And Jiu is just trying to get away from this Cassante, who is just way too big. Rich gets into that backline though. They do manage to take down the Jace as Closer still hunting for the rest of DRX. There are a lot of people now trying to take down some Nexus turrets. As Jiu, let's see what he can actually get done here. Needs to get out of the way of this brick wall that is Dudu, who just dives towards him. Doctom almost falling down here, but Willer, can he get it? The knockup does come through, and Rich turns up to try and take down this Callista once again. But the Dusante says you are not winning this game, and Rich will be falling. It's a triple for the Zoe, and Closer once again showing that he's the better mid laner here in this series today. Yukal will be respawning, but I just don't know whether that's going to mean too much here for DRX, as him and Andal are just doing their very best to try and find it here. Great Q3 from Dudu to try and lock down Yukal, who is just desperately trying to kill minions, trying to kill Closer, and neither are things that he's really managing to figure out. As the heal comes through there from Andal, but tidal wave not going to be enough. And down will go both of them. Jiu shows up yet again though. Oh, can he actually find a couple of kills before his Nexus inevitably dies? The answer is yes, there's one. Dudu is now getting very low, and I think this game is a disaster. Peter now running away, and there's the culling. So you know, a lot of them are dead. It was a crescent blade or axe.
Sounds like they need to get on that.
Yeah, so it's
man,
we can
sure
call
hope
it
that
the crescent of truth.
I sure hope that I one day can buy a model Renekton and it'll have really high detail on its crescent blade / axe.
Well, it may just have that, as he's in the Cataclysm, but who's trapped in where with who? The rest of his team is just not there.
I personally did not witness, I was not there, I was on a plane, but I was told legends of and then watched a VOD of a 10,000 gold lead from a certain organization.
No.
Oh,
Wolf, no, surely no. They would never do it again. They couldn't do it again. Oh, no. There's no way. No, don't even say it. Don't put it into existence.
Then the
to
gold
get
lead
money
streaks further.
Yeah. All right, Willow looks for the angle once again. Handshake gets rid of him. And there's the shock blast. That's what needs to land as Jiu gets closed in on. There's a hostile takeover, and he explodes with the Ren damage. Peter now in trouble. It's a double kill for Doctarm, who gets put in the bubble. Dudu looks for the angle. It's a triple! And I told you that it was impossible. There was no way they were going to be able to withstand the power of the DN SOOPers this time around as they march up the mid lane. Only Willa and Rich.
Are you telling me or are you telling Dudu and Pioshik who lived it?
I don't know. I think I'm telling myself and hoping that it is indeed true as Closer looks for it here. Rich is still very scary as Willa just trying to take care of Closer momentarily. He has a GA, but Rich not going to be able to help bail him out, I don't think. And there's only so much needlework that can be done here. As a lot of buttons are going wide, he's trying to pull the minions, goes golden.
10 seconds on Geo, well, there's no way, right?
Yeah, I mean, these turrets are just going to fall like paper. Geo is going to show up. He's marching out with that big old horse, but there's the all-out as he looks to try and take down Closer. He does at least get one, but Doctarm is focused on the Nexus, and down it will go.